Fake HOA Cop blocked my farm, didn't know my beehive was a trap. What's good? HOA Karen Files fam. Buckle up for the wildest, most epic drama we've ever dropped on this channel. It's a roller coaster you won't believe. Picture this. You wake up one morning to find your farm, your life's blood, sweat, and tears completely blocked off by a locked gate. No warning, no notice, just a smug fake HOA cop strutting around like he owns the place, saying it's HOA property now. That's exactly what happened to Nate, a 40-year-old beekeeper in Maple Grove, Ohio, 3 months ago. But here's the kicker. What they didn't know? Nate had been planning for this moment for years. That gate? Just a trap, and they walked right into it, unleashing a swarm of chaos they never saw coming. We're talking hidden cameras, a beehive trap that'll leave you buzzing, viral takedowns, drone chases, and a showdown that skyrockets to 30 million views. Will Nate save his farm and make the fake HOA cop pay for terrorizing his community? This saga's got drama, revenge, laughs, and a sting you'll never forget, so smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell to join the fight against HOA tyrants. Where you watching from? Drop a comment, let's dive into the madness. Maple Grove, Ohio, was the kind of suburb where summer meant kids chasing fireflies, old-timers playing chess on porches, and the sweet hum of bees drifting through the air. For Nate Harper, 40, his 3-acre farm Harper's Hive was his sanctuary. After a decade as a cybersecurity analyst in Columbus, Nate had quit his soul-crushing tech job in 2018 to chase his passion, beekeeping. He'd turned his land into a honey empire, with 20 beehives producing golden, raw honey that sold out at every farmer's market. He also hosted school field trips, teaching kids about bees with a smoker and a net, and supplied honey to Maple Grove's bakery, where it was the star of their famous honey-glazed pastries. Nate's dream was bigger, though he wanted to start a mead-making business, opening a tasting room where locals could sip honey wine under string lights, surrounded by wildflower fields. "It'll be my legacy," he told his sister, Lily, 35, a local journalist with a knack for sniffing out trouble. "This farm's my everything." Harper's Hive bordered Maple Grove Estates, a gated community of million-dollar homes where the lawns were as manicured as the egos. The estates were run by a fake HOA, led by Karen Voss, a 55-year-old real estate mogul with dollar signs in her eyes. Karen had been eyeing Nate's land for years. Its rolling hills, babbling creek, and sunset views were perfect for her luxury spa retreat project, a deal that had net her $3 million in profits. She'd already secured investors, but there was one problem. Nate wasn't selling. "I don't care how much she offers," Nate told Lily over coffee at the Maple Grove diner, the steam from his mug fogging up his glasses. "This farm's my life. I'm not giving it up to some HOA tyrant." Lily, sipping her latte, frowned. "She's dangerous, Nate. I've heard stories people who cross her don't last long." The first sign of trouble came on a scorching Saturday in July 2023. Nate was in the middle of a field trip for Maple Grove Elementary, 15 kids in sun hats, giggling as he showed them how to use a smoker to calm the bees. "See, you puff a little smoke, and the bees think there's a fire," Nate explained, his voice warm. "They start eating honey to prepare to flee, and that keeps them calm." A girl named Ellie, 9, raised her hand. "Do bees ever get mad?" Nate chuckled. "Only if you mess with their hive." The kids laughed, their parents snapping photos. It was a perfect day until it wasn't. A golf cart screeched to a stop at the edge of Nate's property. Out stepped Carl Evans, a 48-year-old fake HOA cop who'd been Karen's enforcer for years. Carl was a walking red flag, dark blue uniform with HOA in bold white letters on the chest, a fake badge pinned crookedly to his shirt, and a sneer that could curdle milk. He'd been terrorizing Maple Grove for months, handing out fake fines for everything from unapproved mailboxes to excessive grass height. Most folks paid up to avoid trouble, but whispers were growing. "Who made him king?" grumbled Mr. Daniels, 72, a retired mechanic, to Nate the week before. "There's no HOA here." Carl stomped over, his boots kicking up dust, his face red with fake authority. "What's this?" he barked, pointing at Nate's beehives like they were a crime scene. Nate, still holding the smoker, turned calmly. "It's a farm tour, sir. For the kids. They're learning about bees." Carl sneered, adjusting his badge. "This is an illegal operation. No HOA permit, no approval." Nate's brow furrowed. I don't live in Maple Grove Estates. You've got no jurisdiction here. The kids went quiet, sensing the tension. Ellie clutched her mom's hand. Carl didn't care about facts. He grabbed Nate's smoker, tossing it to the ground with a clang, and kicked over a display table of honey jars Nate had set up for the parents. Glass shattered, honey oozing into the dirt like liquid gold. Bees are a health hazard, Carl yelled, his voice booming across the farm. You're done, bee boy. The kids screamed, some bursting into tears as their parents rushed to scoop them up. Nate, his heart racing but his voice steady, ushered the group to safety behind the barn. This is private property, he said, staring Carl down. Leave. Now. Carl laughed, scribbling on a notepad. $500 fine for illegal farming and endangering kids. Pay up, or we'll shut you down for good. He tossed the paper at Nate's feet and drove off, leaving Nate standing in a puddle of honey, surrounded by broken jars and the echoes of crying children. That night, Nate sat in his kitchen, the glow of his laptop casting shadows on the walls. Lily was there, sipping tea, her journalist instincts on high alert. They watched security footage from a camera Nate had installed after a fox tried to raid his hives last year. It caught everything. Carl's fake uniform, the table smash, the kids' terror, even Carl's smug grin as he drove away. This guy's a menace, Lily said, her voice tight. Nate uploaded the clip to the Maple Grove Facebook group, titled Fake HOA Cop Wrecks Kids Farm Tour. The post exploded, 1,200 likes, 400 comments in hours. He fined me for my garden, wrote Mrs. Ellis, 67, a retired schoolteacher. There's no HOA here, added Mr. Daniels. He threatened my dog, chimed in Mrs. Garcia, 62. The community was fired up, but Nate stayed calm. He turned to Lily, his jaw tight. I've been ready for this. Lily raised an eyebrow. What do you mean, ready? Nate led her to his barn, where a locked cabinet held his secret weapon, a stack of old property deeds he'd found when he bought the farm in 2018. Look at this, he said, pointing to a faded map. There's a public access road hidden by overgrowth that leads to the back of my land. It's not on modern maps, but legally, it's still active. I've kept it quiet, knowing these Maple Grove Estates clowns might pull something like this. He grinned, a spark in his eye. And that's not all. I've got a trap set at the main entrance. Lily's eyes widened. A trap? Nate nodded, pulling up blueprints on his laptop. The main gate's a decoy rigged with cameras and sensors. If they try to block me out, I'll catch 'em in the act. And they're about to get stung in ways they never saw coming. Carl wasn't just a bully, he was the muscle for a full-blown con. By Monday, every mailbox in Maple Grove had a flyer. Maple Grove Estates HOA. Mandatory $70 per month safety fees to protect our community from hazards like bee infestations. The fine print was chilling. Fines up to $500 or property seizures for non-payment. Nate, who dealt with scammers in his cybersecurity days, smelled a rat. They're extorting the whole town, he told Lily, digging through county records in his barn office. Sure enough, Maple Grove Estates had no registered HOA. Karen and Carl were pocketing thousands, and Nate's farm was their biggest target yet. Karen Voss, 55, wasn't just after Nate's land for her spa retreat, she had a personal vendetta. 10 years ago, her late father, a real estate tycoon, had owned Nate's plot but lost it in a bankruptcy deal. Karen saw it as her birthright, a piece of her family's legacy she'd vowed to reclaim. That land's mine, she'd hissed to Carl over a martini at the estate's clubhouse, her nails tapping the glass. I don't care what it takes, get that big guy out. Carl, sipping a cheap beer, nodded. He'll break. They always do. At dinner that night, Nate pushed his plate of spaghetti away, his appetite gone. They're not stopping, Lil, he said, his voice low. I caught Carl snooping around my property line yesterday, said he was inspecting for violations. He's looking for an excuse to shut me down. Lily, her journalist instincts buzzing, set down her fork. Let's dig deeper. If they're running a scam, there's got to be a paper trail. She spent the next day at the county courthouse, pulling records with the help of her friend Clara, a 42-year-old clerk who owed her a favor. What they found was dynamite. Karen had run a similar scam in Dayton in 2018, posing as an HOA president and extorting $20,000 from homeowners before skipping town. Carl, her enforcer, had a rap sheet assault, fraud, even a stint in jail for petty theft. They're pros, Lily warned, handing Nate the files over coffee the next morning. But we've got video of Carl wrecking your tour. That's a start. Nate had more than a start, he had a plan. 5 years ago, when he'd found the hidden access road in the deeds, he'd started preparing for a day like this. He'd rigged his main entrance, a dirt path bordering the estates, with a decoy gate, equipped with 4K cameras, motion sensors, and even a fake beehive that doubled as a sensor hub. If they try to block me out, I'll catch every move, Nate told Lily, showing her the setup on his laptop. And I've already cleared the hidden road. Over the past month, Nate had hired a discreet crew led by his old high school buddy, Jake, 39, a landscaper, to cut through decades of overgrowth at night. The hidden road was now passable, a winding dirt path through the woods that led to the back of his farm. Nate had moved 5 beehives to the new entrance, keeping his operation running in secret. That night, the cameras struck gold. At 1 a.m., Carl met a thug named Vinny in an alley behind the estate's clubhouse, splitting a stack of cash under a flickering streetlight. "That be guy's trouble," Carl hissed, counting out $800 in crisp bills. "He's asking questions, rallying the neighbors." "Shut him down, Vinny." Vinny, a hulking 45-year-old with a scar across his cheek, cracked his knuckles. "I'll scare him good. Maybe a little fire to spook those bees." Nate, watching the footage with Lily the next morning, felt his blood run cold. "He's talking about arson," he whispered. Lily hugged him, her face pale. "We've got him on tape. He's not getting near us." But Carl was paranoid and reckless. On Thursday, he spotted a camera in a fake rock near Nate's gate while patrolling in his golf cart. He smashed it with a tire iron, laughing as he tossed the pieces onto Nate's farm. "Nice try, B-boy," he shouted, flipping off the barn before speeding away. Nate, watching from inside, felt his stomach twist. "He's escalating fast." Lily picked up the broken camera, her jaw tight. "He's sloppy, Nate. That's his weakness. We'll use it." Nate nodded, pulling up the footage of Carl's vandalism. "Let's get the neighbors together. It's time to fight back." Nate, Lily, and Mrs. Ellis hosted a secret meeting at Mrs. Ellis's house, cramming 50 neighbors into her cozy living room. The air was thick with anger and determination. Mrs. Ellis, 67, a retired schoolteacher with a voice that could command a classroom, kicked things off. "Carl's no HOA chief. He's a fraud." She held up Nate's deed no HOA in Maple Grove Estates records. Mr. Daniels, 72, admitted he'd paid Carl $600, thinking it was legit. "I thought I had to," he said, his hands shaking. Mrs. Garcia, 62, fumed. "He fined me $300 for my dog, said it was too loud." The teenage twins, Mia and Max, 16, who ran a TikTok account with 5K followers, spoke up. "He shut down our lemonade stand last summer, $200 fine. We're in." Lily's journalist friend, Sophie, 29, saw viral potential. "This is gonna explode," she said, filming a recap with Nate's footage on her phone. Her video, "Fake HOA Cop Wrecks Kids Farm Tour," hit 3 million views in 48 hours. TikTok turned Carl's yell, "Bees are a health hazard," into a meme, Bee Kid Challenge. Kids across the country started posting videos of themselves running from fake bees, tagging hashtag #BeeKidChallenge. Carl, freaking out, posted a flyer. "Ignore the lies. The HOA protects your community." But the damage was done. Maple Grove was ready to fight. Nate upped the ante. He set up a new camera, Bee Watcher, hidden in a fake beehive near the decoy gate. He added a speaker playing Sweet Caroline, Carl's most hated song, according to a neighbor who'd overheard him ranting at the diner on a low loop to mess with him. The camera caught Carl bribing Vinny again, this time at 2 a.m. behind the estate's pool house. "Make that bee guy disappear," Carl snapped, handing over $700. "I don't care how, burn his hives, scare his customers, whatever it takes." Vinny grinned, cracking his knuckles. "He's toast." Nate, watching the footage with Lily and Mrs. Ellis the next morning, felt a surge of adrenaline. "We've got him dead to rights," he said. Mrs. Ellis nodded, her eyes fierce. "Let's show the town." At the next neighborhood meeting, held in Mr. Daniels' garage to avoid suspicion, Nate played the footage on a projector he'd borrowed from the library. The crowd of 60 neighbors lost it. "Arrest him," yelled Mrs. Garcia, waving her cane. "He's a crook," shouted Mr. Thompson, 70, a retired teacher. Carl, who'd been lurking in the back hoping to intimidate folks, tried to bolt, but Vinny, sweating bullets, shouted, "He made me do it. I didn't sign up for arson." Neighbors blocked the door, phones out, live streaming the chaos to the Maple Grove Facebook group. Within minutes, the local police were on their way. 3 days later, Nate woke up to find his main entrance blocked, a heavy metal gate with a sign, "Property of Maple Grove Estates HOA." Carl had taken the bait, thinking he'd locked Nate out for good. The cameras caught him installing it at 2 a.m., bragging to Vinny, "This'll shut him down for good. No more bees, no more trouble." But Nate was already on his farm, using the hidden road. He smirked, watching the footage with Lily over breakfast. "They think they've won," he said, sipping his coffee. Lily grinned. "They have no idea what's coming." Nate nodded, pulling up his security app. It's time to spring the trap and give him a sting they'll never forget. Carl knew he was in deep trouble, but he wasn't going down without a fight. He hired a sleazy lawyer, Tony Marino, 50, a guy known for defending shady landlords in Columbus. Tony filed a lawsuit against Nate, Lily, Mrs. Ellis, and even the teenage twins, Mia and Max, for defamation and harassment. In court, Tony waived fake HOA bylaws, claiming Maple Grove Estates had historical authority over Nate's land. But Mrs. Ellis was ready. She'd spent days at the library with her friend, Clara the clerk, digging up dirt. "Your Honor," she said, her voice steady, "Carl's a serial con artist." She presented his Dayton rap sheet, 3 fraud charges, 2 counts of assault. Then Nate played bee watchers footage, Carl's bribes, Vinny's threats, the gate installation. The judge, a no-nonsense woman in her 60s, didn't blink. "This is a sham," she declared, ordering Carl to repay $40,000 in stolen fees to the community. The courtroom erupted in cheers, with Mrs. Garcia shouting, "Take that, you fake cop." Back in Maple Grove, Nate kept farming via the hidden road, selling honey at the market and rebuilding his tour program. Sophie's TikTok videos had raised $5,000, which Nate used to buy new hives and repair his barn. But Carl, desperate and humiliated, wasn't done. He hired a thug, Bobby, 38, a wannabe tough guy with a shaved head and a neck tattoo, to sabotage Nate's operation. "Burn the hives," Carl told Bobby over a burner phone, his voice dripping with venom. "Make it look like an accident." Bobby, eager for the $500 payout, sneaked onto Nate's farm at midnight, a can of gasoline in hand. Nate, however, was one step ahead. He'd rigged a fake beehive near the decoy gate, a prop packed with sensors and a hidden release mechanism. When Bobby smashed it with a crowbar, thinking it was real, the sensors triggered a nearby gate to open, releasing a swarm of bees Nate had safely relocated earlier that day. The bees, already agitated by Bobby's noise, went wild. Bobby screamed, dropping the gasoline as the swarm chased him across the farm. "Get him off me," he yelled, flailing as he ran straight into a ditch, bees buzzing around his head. Neighbors, woken by the commotion, filmed the chaos from their windows. Sophie, who'd been crashing at Mrs. Ellis's house, posted the video, "Bees own fake cop's goon." It hit 8 million views in 24 hours, with comments flooding in, "Bee justice. Fake cop got stung." Carl's reputation was toast. Carl tried to save face with a sob story flyer. "I'm the victim of a smear campaign." It backfired spectacularly. Maple Grove turned it into memes, with kids pasting the flyers on lampposts with "loser" written in marker. The police, tipped off by Nate's footage, raided Carl's McMansion in the estates. They found $80,000 in cash hidden in a safe, along with fake HOA documents and a burner phone linking him to Bobby. Carl was arrested on the spot, charged with fraud, extortion, and vandalism. Vinny, facing his own charges, flipped on Carl to cut a deal, spilling everything about their scam. "He told me to burn the hives," Vinny told the cops, his voice shaky. Said it'd scare the bee guy into selling. With Carl behind bars, Nate thought the worst was over, but he'd underestimated Karen Voss. Karen, 55, wasn't just the puppet master of the fake HOA. She had a personal stake in Nate's land that went deeper than her spa retreat deal. Lily, digging through old property records at the courthouse, uncovered a bombshell. Nate's farm had once belonged to Karen's father, a real estate tycoon who'd lost it in a bankruptcy deal in 2005. Karen had been at his deathbed when he passed in 2010, and he'd made her promise to reclaim our legacy. To Karen, that meant Nate's farm at any cost. She's not just after profit, Lily told Nate over the phone, her voice tense. This is personal. She sees you as the guy who stole her family's honor. Karen wasn't done fighting. With Carl out of the picture, she hired a new enforcer. Derek, 44, a former private investigator with a shady past. Derek was smarter than Carl. He didn't wear a fake uniform, but he had a knack for intimidation. He started by spreading rumors at the Maple Grove diner, telling locals Nate's bees were dangerous and carrying diseases. I heard they stung a kid last week. Derek lied to Mr. Thompson over coffee, his voice low and sinister. Mr. Thompson, 70, didn't buy it. Nate's bees are fine, he snapped, slamming his mug down. You're full of it. But the rumors spread, and some of Nate's regular customers at the market started avoiding his stall. Karen also filed a new lawsuit, claiming Nate's hidden access road was unsafe and environmentally damaging. She hired a crooked environmental consultant, Marla, 50, to fake a report saying Nate's road was harming a protected wetland. It wasn't. There was no wetland. In court, Marla presented her report with a straight face, but Nate and Lily were ready. Lily had called in a favor with her friend, Dr. Ellis, 60, a retired environmental scientist who volunteered to inspect the road. There's no wetland here, Dr. Ellis told the judge, presenting his own report with photos and soil samples. This is a fabricated claim. The judge threw out Karen's lawsuit, but not before warning her. One more stunt like this, Ms. Voss, and you'll be facing sanctions. Karen, furious, doubled down. She paid Derek to sabotage Nate's market stall at the next farmer's market. Derek sneaked in at dawn, dumping sugar syrup on Nate's honey display to attract ants and ruin his stock. But Nate had a new ally, Mia and Max, the TikTok twins. They'd set up a GoPro to catch vandals after their lemonade stand got hit last year. The camera caught Derek in the act, his face clear as day. Max posted the video. Fake HOA goon ruins honey stall. It hit 5 million views, with comments like, "Protect Nate's bees," and "Karen's a monster." Karen's spa retreat investors, seeing the backlash, started pulling out. "We can't be tied to this," one told her over the phone, his voice cold. "You're toxic now." Nate wasn't just a beekeeper, he was a tech guy with tricks up his sleeve. After Derek's stunt at the market, Nate borrowed a drone from his old cybersecurity buddy, Ryan, 41, who ran a tech startup in Columbus. The drone, a high-tech model with a 4K camera and 40-minute flight time, was perfect for Nate's next move. "If Karen wants to play dirty, I'll play smarter," Nate told Lily, programming the drone in his barn. He named it Bee Spy and rigged it with a speaker to play buzzing sounds, just to mess with Derek. Nate flew Bee Spy over the estates at night, catching Derek meeting Karen at her mansion. "He's still selling honey," Derek grumbled, pacing her marble patio. "The rumors aren't enough." Karen, sipping a martini, slammed her glass down. "Then do more. I want him gone now." The drone recorded it all, including Karen handing Derek a wad of cash. "Make his life hell," she hissed. Nate, watching the live feed with Lily, grinned. "Got her." The next day, Derek tried to escalate by hiring a group of teens to spray paint "Bee Freak" on Nate's barn. But Nate was ready. He'd set up motion sensor sprinklers around the barn after Bobby's bee chase. The sprinklers went off, soaking the teens in ice-cold water and washing away the paint before it could dry. The kids ran off, screaming, as Nate's cameras caught the whole thing. Sophie posted the video. Teens failed to vandalize beef farm. It hit 4 million views, with Maple Grove rallying behind Nate even more. Karen, desperate, made a fatal mistake. She ordered Derek to cut down the wildflower field Nate used to feed his bees, thinking it'd starve them out. Derek rented a bulldozer, planning to flatten the field at dawn. But Nate had a final trap. He'd planted a hidden beehive in the field, rigged with a remote release. As Derek's bulldozer rolled in, Nate triggered the hive from his phone. A swarm of bees erupted, chasing Derek off the bulldozer and across the field. Derek, flailing and screaming, tripped into the creek, soaking himself as the bees buzzed around him. Neighbors filmed it all, and Sophie's video, "Bees versus Bulldozer," went viral at 10 million views. Karen's last investor bailed, and the spa retreat deal collapsed. With the drone footage, beehive traps, and community support, Nate had all the evidence he needed. Lily took the recordings to the district attorney, who filed charges against Karen for fraud, conspiracy, and vandalism. Derek, facing his own charges, flipped on Karen to save himself, revealing her entire scheme, including her personal vendetta over the land. Karen was arrested at her mansion, her designer heels clicking as cops led her away in cuffs. She got 12 years. Derek, 6. Carl, already in jail, got an extra 5 years for his role. Maple Grove threw a honey festival to celebrate, with Nate serving mead from his new tasting room, built with the $6,000 Sophie's videos had raised. The festival drew 500 locals, raising $10,000 for a bee conservation charity. Mrs. Ellis, Mr. Daniels, and Mrs. Garcia danced to a local band, while kids ran around with honey sticks. No more fake cops, Mr. Thompson toasted, raising a glass of mead. Nate, watching the sunset with Lily, smiled. We did it. Karen fled to Nevada after parole, where ex-posts claimed she was trying to start a new scam. Nate's farm became a tourist spot, featured on Channel 5 as Ohio's Bee Hero. Sophie's channel hit 300K subs, crediting Nate's story for her big break. Maple Grove thrived, no fake HOAs, just a community stronger than ever. The final video closed with Nate harvesting honey under a golden sunset, bees buzzing happily, his new tasting room glowing in the background. This is our home, Nate narrated. And no fake cop or queen bee can take it away. That's a wrap. HOA Karen Files fam. Nate just dropped a 30 million view bomb on fake HOA Cop Carl and Queen Bee Karen, turning Maple Grove into a bully-free zone. From camera traps to a bee swarm takedown, drone chases, and a wildflower field sting, this 100-minute saga proves you don't mess with a beekeeper and his farm. What was your favorite moment? Carl's gate fail? Derek's bulldozer bee chase? Or Karen's courtroom meltdown? Spill it in the comments and share this video to spread the justice. Smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell. We've got more HOA drama coming your way. Peace out, keep buzzing, and let's keep the HOA Karen Files vibes alive.